Fenton here. I'm an integrative nutrition health coach. I provide dietary counseling and also address any concerns related to emotional, mental, and physical well-being. And today we are going to be talking about how stress affects the body with my personal, awesome, very, very talented massage therapist, Brandon Gilleland.
Hello.
So we know stress affects all of us at different levels at different times in our lives. It's something that, sometimes it's just, comes out of, it's just unexpected and we can't predict it. We can't plan it in our lives. And everything in the body is connected, as I always talk about. And we should all be aware of how everything is connected with our bodies. You know that very well.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just going to quickly review some of the effects of stress and then talk about Brandon's expertise and how all of that ties in with our bodies. So the cardiovascular system, it affects that. High blood pressure, heart rate, the risk of heart attack or stroke can increase. Stress can cause the heart to beat irregularly.
Muscle cramps, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Oh, yeah. Immune system, it weakens the immune system and you're more susceptible to illnesses and viruses when you're under stress. The digestive system can cause digestive problems like diarrhea, constipation, nausea, and also can affect nutrient absorption. Our mental health, anxiety, irritability, depression, panic attacks.
Oh, yeah.
I know I've experienced all of that.
My husband goes through them all the time.
Oh, yeah, it can wreak havoc on that for sure. Behavior, it increases our chances of participating in unhealthy behavior.
Irritability in general.
Yes.
Flying off the handle.
Oh my gosh, yes. And like smoking, drinking, binging, any kind of unhealthy behavior like that you might be susceptible to. And it also decreases our likelihood of participating in healthy behavior like physical activity. And you also have problems with memory and focus.
Oh, yeah.
And then sleep, stress affects our sleep, insomnia or increased sleep, either way, can go either way. And then finally, on my just short list of ways that stress can affect the body, our musculoskeletal system.
Oh, yeah.
So muscle tension, headaches, TMJ disorders.
Oh, yeah. Clenching that teeth at night.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So all of those things. So that's where I'm sure though you may be familiar with all of the things that we've talked about and however familiar you are with that, please expand on that. But I know especially with the musculoskeletal system. That's a hard word to say fast.
Dang Latin.
Yeah. That's where you have had many years of expertise and
16.
And seeing how stress affects the body with all of that. So yeah, can you speak on that? How you've
I think one of the greatest stress points in people's lives, the one I see the most, is caregivers, especially female caregivers. I think that kind of correlates with going through menopause, and then on top of that, having to take care of yourself while taking care of somebody else. It can really stack on some crazy stress. See a lot of people who lose sleep, and then it just compounds and turns into shoulder aches, that turns into hip aches because you're not sleeping, you're tossing, you're turning. So it just leads to more and more issues. The more and more you think about it, the more and more you focus on it, the more it's just going to compound and compound.
Yeah, so that's a great way to kind of tie all that together, because it's true. Like when everything is connected, if one thing is affected, if you don't address that, then it's just going to continue
domino
affecting.
Effect.
Exactly.
One is just going to lead to another.
Right. So, it's just, that just brings awareness to how we all need to check in with ourselves.
Yeah. Take your, people who have kids, like 99% of your time is dedicated to those kids. Like you have to take your 1% for yourself. Yeah. And whether that's walking your dog, like that's my favorite activity, is taking my dogs on walks, just because it's good for them, it's good for me. And at the end of the day, getting fresh air. There's a lot of scientific studies out there that are actually showing the more we're in nature, the less stress we tend to actually hold inside of ourselves.
Yes, that's a great point. Yeah. There's so many simple things like that that we can do. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money necessarily or take up a ton of your time.
No, yeah.
Just these little things that you can do, small, simple things.
And most people think, oh my God, I just don't have the time. I don't have the time. Because today, in today's climate, there's always something you have to do. I got to go to the DMV. I got to go pay this. I got to do this. And you just have so much on your plate. But really just taking 5 minutes a day for yourself is not hard at all. I often tell my clients, like, you know, stretching. Like, so many people are like, oh, I just don't have the time to get on the floor. And well, turn your bedtime routine into stretching. Like when you're brushing your teeth, stretch your arms. When you're getting ready to go to bed, like when you're putting on your pajamas or taking your clothes off, turn it into touching your toes and just kind of roll your back while you're doing it. Just small stuff like that can make a huge impact.
Oh wow, that's great. I never even thought about that. Yeah, because I'm always trying to think of ways like that where it's like, how can I be efficient with, you know, with my time and
play it into what you're doing throughout the day, right? Because so many of us work at desks, so you're hunched over. And I had this one particular client, she was constantly having pain on her left side. She just couldn't figure out why. And I was like, well, what do you do every day? Well, I'm sitting at my desk. I'm like, well, is that screen straight in front of you? No. I was like, which way are you facing? Oh, to the left. Oh my God. It's just like not even thinking of what you're doing with your body all day long and just taking a moment to figure out how you can kind of break that up.
Yeah, like what you were just saying about working just like that would just involve her either moving her chair or her monitor or whatever, just like, and what you were just talking about with like stretching when you're getting dressed even, or brushing your teeth or anything like that. It's like anything that we can do to take these small steps and integrate these good habits into what we're already doing, so it doesn't feel so overwhelming and like, oh, I gotta try to add this to a checklist, or you know, because we all have these checklists, right? Like what you were saying, like, you know, if you have kids,
gotta get up, gotta make their meal, gotta make your meal, gotta, you know, and it's like, get them to school, get them to the bus stop. And then the panic of, you know, today's climate, them just going to school can be crazy stressful.
That could, oh my gosh. But just, checklists with that, with your kids or yourself, if you're in school, or, you know, checklists at work for stuff with that, checklists for places of worship, if that's something that you participate in, checklists at home for, you know, just stuff around the house that needs to get done. It's so easy to, when you think about everything, like you were saying, you have to keep up with, you have to keep track of, when your mind is in all these other places, it's so easy to lose touch with your somatic self.
Just taking a moment for you and just to like meditate, or, you know, one of my favorite things is I think it's called Herkle-Dirkling.
Oh gosh, what is that?
So it's when you take time in the morning to like actually just lay in bed, and like in the morning I actually turn it into stretching and stuff. Like I'll take my hip and put it to the other side and put my arms way out and then bring my arms up, and just taking time, instead of most people, that alarm goes off and it's like, boom, right out of bed. And they don't like, so just set your alarm like a few minutes earlier, and then just like enjoy the bed for a minute, like stay awake and alert, but at the same time, like turn it into something, stretching anyway, like even just dropping your leg off the edge of the bed, stretching out that hip, because so many people have pain with sciatica or in the hips in general, because a lot of people are side sleepers. Side sleeping is terrible for our bodies.
I'm trying to break that. Like I even got a pillow that like I'm like it's most comfortable for this particular pillow for me to lay on my back, but still sometimes I find myself, so I'm like, no, you don't do it, because
it's compressing on one shoulder and then gravity's pulling the other down, and then you got your hips like just squishing in over the night. So gravity has compound factors on the body alone, and then you add like tossing and turning, and people who are all over the bed. I mean, there's not much you can do because you're asleep, but the more you can kind of make it a mental awareness, like while you're sleeping, like, maybe I should just start trying to sleep on my back at the beginning. And so what if you end up on your side? As long as you have a pillow properly supports that L shape of your neck and your shoulder. And hugging a pillow really helps from compressing the shoulders in. So I always have a pillow. Like my husband always laughs at me because I have like 4 pillows that I sleep with.
And my husband has 3. He has, yeah, he's got one on each. I'm like, is there like I can barely reach it.
Right? Yeah, there's like, a mound between the couples, but you got to do what's right for your body at the end of the day.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you recommend like that is probably a good practice for a lot of people to have multiple.
And like a lot of people are like, well, how do I train my body? Well, there's some very crazy different ways you can do that. Putting a pillow underneath your fitted sheet, underneath your legs, because you can't move the pillow, your body will just
that's what it's on the massage table like that,
exactly,
right?
Yeah, we use massage bolsters. It helps alleviate that pressure on the low back.
Okay. That's a good idea. I never, that's such a good point that we can like try to incorporate some of these things that we think of as like associated with luxury time. Right. Like you're going, to get a massage. It's like, oh, well, can I do something similar like at home to make it?
My table warmer. So many people are like, oh, it feels so good. They're only like $80. You can get one and put it on your bed, or just even like using a heating pad for a little bit before you go to bed, like just to help loosen up your back or whatever's hurting you. Hydrotherapy is excellent. Going back and forth between heat and ice, it helps activate the nervous system, which can often really help alleviate a lot of pain.
Alternating between them.
Yeah, so the technique is usually using about a 30-minute process, 15 minutes heat, 10 minutes ice, and then 5 more minutes of heat.
Okay.
Feels like pins and needles when you do it, and a lot of people are like, ah. But if you do it and you just bear through it, like at the end, your body is just like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, something we've actually been using for a long time. Actually developed in the 1800s.
Oh, wow.
When we were actually using it on insane asylums. We were using it on insane people, thinking that would shock them into reality.
Oh.
I know, it's really barbaric and weird, but there are more. A lot of people now take ice baths and stuff, like after you're done with your workouts and stuff.
I couldn't. Oh my gosh.
I also,
Even though there's a lot of studies that say, I mean, I guess if I had to, I could try, but that's hard. Like, I like the heat.
Most people do like the heat. Your body likes heat because we're heat inside, right?
Yeah.
But cold does constrict those blood vessels and does help alleviate the swelling and stuff that is mostly attributed to like arthritis or carpal tunnel. It's all stuff that like a lot of people are like, it hurts to stick it in ice. Well, you do it a little bit more often and you get used to it.
Yeah, build up like a tolerance.
Yeah, you build up a tolerance. Like as a massage therapist, I try and do it all the time for my hands, ice plunges. I can only make it to about 5 minutes before I have to pull it out. But like, it takes time even to get to that. Like the first 2 minutes are excruciating, but you just got to train your body. You got to hone in on yourself and just kind of meditate through it a little bit. And the more you do it, the more enjoyment you'll get out of it.
You just brought up something in my mind. I forgot about this probably because I was like, like when I was doing it, but when I was doing occupational therapy for my hands and wrists, they had, I think it was beans, some kind of like just beans that they kept in a bucket in a freezer. And I like, and it was like, but like I was able to do it longer than I thought I would. So that's a good point. Like, you can do more than you think you can, and little bits of time, it can be worth it, right? Because then you're saving yourself more pain in the long run.
Right, exactly. And just who doesn't have 5 extra minutes in the day? Like, even if you're crazy busy, while you're sitting there over the stove and you're waiting for your lasagna or whatever, just use that time to do a quick little ice plunge, or
if you're watching TV, right there.
Get on the floor. So many people just sit on the couch and they just get in all these weird, wacky positions. And it's cozy, but at the same time, if you just took a few minutes to just lay out on the floor and just fully stretch out your back, and small stuff like that can really make impactful changes.
Yeah, and like what you were saying too about like at the beginning of the day, that's one small change that's like it doesn't take a lot of time, but it just can set the tone for the whole day,
right? When you're just immediately jumping out and just like, I've got so much I got to do. Well, you just take 5 minutes to just relax and just zen out, listen to some lo-fi. That's what I like to listen to. But
Mm.
any kind of relaxing music or jazz or whatever, something that kind of just stimulates the brain a little bit. But don't think about all the stuff you got to do that day. Just think about, here's my moment, and use those just 5 minutes, and can make huge difference.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, because like if I know when I've gone through large chunks of time in my life where I was not doing that, it was just like I'd wake up and it's like, okay, boom, 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 boom. And it's just like it's like over time,
Right.
like if you don't make the time, these small moments, like it does catch up with you
Right.
and you will be
Right.
forced to take the
Right.
time,
Exactly.
right?
You'll end up on
Yeah.
disability, and then you can't like get off the couch. I've seen so many situations like now, like we're seeing a lot of younger and younger people having hip replacements, knee replacements, because obesity, huge issue
Yeah.
in this country. But on top
Mm-hmm.
of just the obesity, there's the other things. Like your mind is just so many places that you don't take even just a second to just relax,
Mm-hmm.
zen your mind out for a little bit. You ease your body, ease your strain on yourself.
Yeah.
Stop and smell the flowers. YOLO.
Right. Yeah. And it's funny because it's like, yeah, you hear these things all the time. It's like, okay, yeah. And like how most people I think know, like, oh yeah, I know stress affects all these things. I'm stressed. And it's like, but it's like we get so used to thinking that way and like almost kind of like
Right.
normalizing it to the
Right.
point where it's like almost, yeah, everybody goes through that. So like it's not a concern, but like
it is a concern.
yeah.
At that moment, you're not thinking it's a concern, but
Yeah.
10 years down the road, after you've been go, 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 go all day
Yeah.
long, and you're so tired at the end of the day, you just want to go to bed, it just compounds and compounds.
Mm-hmm.
And like we said before, domino effect. And eventually it leads to traumatic strain on the body.
Yeah. 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 I know.
And the mind.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Early onset Alzheimer's and stuff like that we're seeing now. It's like, because we're so many places all day long.
Mm-hmm.
We don't take time to zen it out a little bit.
It's so funny because like I know one of the things we talked about was how it caused, stress can affect our ability to focus and the brain fog and all that. And what you just said about early onset Alzheimer's, it's like I I even talked to my therapist about this at one point, and like I'm like I feel like I'm forgetting things or I'm not, and he's like that's anxiety.
Yeah,
he's like
anxiety.
He's like
Yeah.
you don't have, not that I was like thinking I had early onset Alzheimer's, but I was just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, am I having memory? It's like, no, it's the anxiety.
It's the anxiety of just being go, 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 go. Like,
Yeah.
And even when you do try and take those 5 minutes to relax, like your brain is so used to going and going and going that it just doesn't want to shut off, because you get, it's habit. It's habitual. Like we covet what we are,
Right.
And it's like the more you put yourself in that fanaticism, the more you're going to end up fanatic.
Yeah. And then it takes time to recover from that too.
Very much so, yeah. And can lead to a bunch of med taking, all the psychologists out there always want to like pop some Xannies or this or that. And, and just more strain on the body. You're only covering the symptom. You're not actually treating it.
But we can treat or hopefully, prevent if hopefully you're not
right.
So but I mean, everyone's at different, stages in their journeys. Right. But if you're not like trying to undo some of that, like let's do these small things to try to prevent it. Like
small steps. You can't take giant leaps and anticipate that it's always going to work out. Right? Just small itty bitty steps can really progress you a huge amount. It just takes time.
Yeah, I say that all the time when trying to help people with integrative nutrition. It's like if you think about all these things that you gotta, if you want to, make a list of all the things I should ideally be doing to be my, most optimized self. It's like if you look at that all at once, it's like depending on where you are, it can be like, oh, that's a lot.
Financial strain, because eating healthy is so expensive.
It doesn't have to be.
But
yeah,
grow your own garden. There's so many people now. Gardening is great for the body. Not only are you outdoors, but you're also moving your body a little bit.
Yeah, and being out in nature and de-stressing. And
exactly. Even if it's listening to some music and just grooving with your tomatoes.
Yeah. That's such a I just got a great visual of that.
Right, just listen to some music, jamming, trimming your tomato tree.
Yeah. So self-care, like, and that's another thing. It's like when we say self-care, it's like, oh, like buzzwordy sounding or like, oh, like it sounds like
Niche.
luxurious,
Yeah,
but it's like
mm-hmm.
no, self-care. It's not like like it should be more like, no, that should be the
It's not a
norm.
privilege.
You need to take
It's like something you should just do, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
For yourself and for everyone
right
around you that loves you.
exactly and wants you to be sane at the end of the day.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So prioritizing sleep, exercise, eating well, time with loved ones, like we were just talking about.
Laughter is a great medicine.
Yes. I mean, there's like comedy specials that like sometimes like, you know, my husband and I will just be like, oh, are there any new comedy specials on any of the like apps that we have? Like all these simple things that it's just like it's not it doesn't have to be hard to work things into your like integrate all of this into your daily life to like
help de-stress and help your body at the end of the day. Like I tell most of my clients, like 1 hour a month. And massage can be a little pricey, but at the same time, like, is your body behaving better? Is your body actually like working better for you?
And improved quality of life.
Right. If that's helping, then what kind of price tag is that really value to you? You know what I mean? So like 1 hour a month, you know, is not like going to break your bank. You know?
Yeah. I mean, in massage, like, I mean, physically, obviously, good for you because of working out the muscles, but like
get the blood
mentally
flowing and just to lay there and just zen out, listen to some nice calm music.
So if you happen to be in the Central Florida area and you would like to enlist Brandon for his incredible services that I have been enjoying for many years now, where can everyone contact you?
You can reach me by phone, 678-770-5303. I take text messages, and you can also hit me up on Facebook, Brendan Gilleland.
And I am Andrea Fenton again. You can find me on Instagram at align_AF. I'm AlignAF. That is my company. And so hopefully this has been very helpful to you, and you can start doing some of these steps so that you can just live your healthiest, happiest life, because that's always our goal.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.
Have a great
one.
Bye.
Thanks, Brandon.
You're welcome.